I just received $3,669.02 from the IRS, and I already know exactly where every penny is going. But $3,500 of this money only exists because I went back 3 years in my tax return and fixed a mistake, despite spending over a decade in corporate finance. And if you file taxes and are wondering, did I leave money on the table? Stay with me, because the answer might surprise you. Today, I'm closing the loop on 4 promises. Number 1, the story of how I found thousands of dollars the IRS owed me that I didn't know about, and how you might have money sitting there too. Number 2, the one rule I follow every year. Number 3, the investments I'm buying with this refund and why. And number 4, I will show you how this return will multiply and how yours could too. Okay, let me back up. A few months ago, I was going through some old paperwork, the kind of cleanup most of us avoid, and I pulled out my tax return from 3 years ago. And something jumped out to me immediately. That year, my filing status had changed. It was a big life change. But when I looked at the return I had filed under my old status, I never updated it. And that one check mark I missed meant I overpaid the IRS by thousands of dollars. Let me be clear. I try to structure my taxes so that throughout the year I'm using my money, not loaning it to the government for free. Breaking even is my sweet spot. Why? Because a tax refund isn't a bonus. It isn't free money. It's your money the IRS held onto, interest-free for up to 15 months. So if you're getting a $5,000 refund every year, that's over $400 a month that could have been in your paycheck, earning interest in a high-yield savings account, or invested in the market compounding for you all year long. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you could put real cash in your pocket too. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. The IRS gives you 3 years from the date you originally filed your return, or 2 years from the date that you paid tax. This is called an amended tax return, which is Form 1040X. And after that 3-year window closes, that money is gone forever. I'll link that information below on how to file an amended tax return. So if you've had a major life change in the last 3 years, got married, got divorced, had children, changed jobs, started a side hustle, bought a house, and you're not 100% sure your tax return reflected that correctly, pull out that old tax return, look at it, because there could be thousands of dollars sitting there with your name on it and a ticking clock. Okay, back to the story. I filed the amended tax return expecting $2,800, then mailed it in January. It did take a little over 3 months to receive, but when I saw that check in the mail for $3,503.02 with over $700 in interest, I was ecstatic. Plus, I had a small regular refund this year of $166. So the total equals to $3,669.02, and every dollar of it gets invested. So in a few minutes, I'll show you exactly how this refund will multiply over time. So if you want to learn how to build wealth rather than watch random finance videos, subscribe. Every week, you will get one strategic lesson, one real move, and one step closer to your own goal. Every episode builds on the last. Start now. Today, because I have a larger than usual amount to invest, it's the perfect moment to balance out my portfolio across 3 different asset categories at once and lay the foundation. That's how this series works. I'm investing my own money to build a real investment portfolio in real time, one strategic lesson at a time. Now let's get into today's 3 buys, and let me break down each one. My first buy is the biggest chunk. 80% of my return and $2,935 goes into VTI. That's the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Think of VTI as buying a tiny piece of every publicly traded company in the United States. We're talking over 37,000 companies, from giants like Apple and Microsoft all the way down to small businesses you've never heard of. It's the most diversified single fund exposure you can get in the US economy. The expense ratio for this is just 0.03%, meaning for every $10,000 invested, you pay just $3 a year in fees. Essentially free. This is your growth engine. My second buy is 15% of my refund at $550 going into VXUS. Vanguard Total International Stock ETF, and it gives me exposure to basically every publicly traded company outside the United States. We're talking over 8,000 companies across developed and emerging markets, including Europe, Japan, China, India, Brazil, all of it. Here's the thing, most American investors are massively overweight in US stocks. I get it. The US market has crushed it for the last decade, but international stocks have historically outperformed US stocks in several decades too. By holding both, you're not betting on one country, you're betting on the world. VXUS is my hedge against US only exposure. The expense ratio is incredibly low and it's one of the most diversified single funds you can buy on the planet. VXUS sits at a similar risk level to VTI, maybe slightly higher to currency risk and geopolitical exposure. My third and smallest position at 5% and $184 goes into BND, Vanguard Total Bond ETF. I know, bonds. I can already hear some of you clicking away. But stay with me. Adding BND to my portfolio isn't just about chasing returns. It's about building a portfolio that can survive anything. Bull markets, bear markets, recessions, and inflation spikes. A fully diversified portfolio has stocks and bonds. I'm rebalancing towards that. In corporate finance, we call this your defense allocation. It's not exciting, it's structural. Investing in index funds as a beginner is so important because you need to lay the foundation brick by brick. I do have to mention that my risk tolerance is higher than most, which means your investment allocation might be different than mine. So it's important to listen to what I teach rather than copy what I do. So I made something for you. It's free. A 3-fund portfolio blueprint. You decide on your 3 funds, your amounts, your plan. I linked this below. If you've been watching this series from the beginning, you may know that my goal is to hit $10,000 invested this year. So here's my updated spreadsheet to break down where the income from this investment came from and where the full $3,669.72 was invested. I did have 30 cents rollover from my last investment and 42 cents from dividends. As you can see, everything highlighted in yellow is what I earned so far. Then the next tab is everything I invested. 3 asset categories: US stocks, international stocks, and bonds. Now I'll show you exactly what this refund becomes over time. And as a former corporate finance executive, I can tell you these numbers are exactly why I invest every dollar I get my hands on. That $3,669 in 10 years without touching it, without adding a single dollar, it becomes $9,516. In 15 years, $15,326. And in 20 years, $24,683. From a tax refund. Most people will get a refund this year and spend it on something they won't remember in 6 months. But the ones watching this video, I think you're different. My hope for you is that this goes towards retiring early and moving closer to real financial freedom. So here's my challenge to you. And it's not financial advice. Ensure that you're doing your own research. First, pull out your last 3 years of tax returns this week. Look for anything that changed: your filing status, dependents, a job change, a home purchase. If something looks off, talk to a tax professional about filing an amended return or file it yourself using my link below. That 3-year window is real and it closes fast. My $3,500 refund would have disappeared forever if I waited another few months. The second is, if you're getting a refund this year, multiply it by investing it. Even if it's not into these exact 3 funds, pick a diversified approach and a low expense ratio and put it to work. Your future self will thank you. And if this video taught you something new, drop it in the comments. I read every single comment. And if you enjoy this video, subscribe, because over the next couple of weeks, I will discuss 3 topics. Next week, I spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on becomes our next deep dive. I also promised you a video on how I will earn money from one of the 10 side hustles I discussed last week. And since I just crossed the $5,000 investment milestone, that reveal is coming too. 3 videos, all worth waiting for. And there's something exciting happening in the next few weeks that I'm not ready to talk about yet, but when it drops, you won't want to miss it. See you next week.